If Benny wants to ride a bike, he can ride a bike. Hi everybody, Matt the Matt here. Hope you're doing well. I hope you like my leather jacket. Because today we are talking about the new film, The Bikeriders. This is a new film by Jeff Nichols. A lot of people know his work from Take Shelter in 2011 or Mud in 2014 with Matthew McConaughey, or his 2016 film Midnight Special. There's a director who likes to work with Michael Shannon in a lot of his projects. In fact, Michael Shannon shows up in this film, so it's no wonder. I was looking forward to this film. Number one, I like Jeff Nichols' Take Shelter and Mud. They're very character-driven, interesting films. Then you got Tom Hardy, my boy, the man, the guy who cannot talk much, but still convey everything with his facial expressions or just his eyes. And then you got newcomers like Austin Butler, rising in Hollywood, and Jodie Comer. So, this was a film that was originally supposed to come out last fall, and it was also under the Disney umbrella, but for some reason, like 2 weeks before or so, before this movie came out, or was going to come out last fall, Disney dropped the distribution, so another studio had to pick it up. I think it was Focus Features, and then they delayed the film because of the actor strike until now. And I have to say, this is one of the best films of the year. This is the type of movie they do not make anymore. Like, this is like the bygone era of storytelling. Something original, something raw, something gritty, dirty, mucky. You just feel this world as soon as we enter it. Jodie Comer is our POV, our narrator throughout the whole film. Mike Feist, who was just in the movie Challengers with Zendaya, is the interviewer. He's interviewing and taking photos. He reminded me a lot of the Cameron Crowe film, Almost Famous, where the little boy in that film was the one going around on tour with the band, taking photos, interviewing people on the band. That's what Mike Feist does here. He interviews this gang of bike riders, motorcyclists in Chicago in the late 60s, early 70s. It definitely has a Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas feel to it at times. It doesn't completely go to that length, but if you've seen Goodfellas or even some of other Scorsese movies, you definitely have that gangster feel. Jodie Comer feels like the female character in Goodfellas, who played Ray Liotta's wife. Very stubborn, very hard-hitted, very, I'm going to get in your face, I don't care who you are, I'm going to tell you what I think, I don't care if you're the main mobster, the main guy. I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. But let's get into it. Positives. Jodie Comer. This is an actress who has already been rising in Hollywood. She was on that show Killing Eve. I've never seen it, but for me, she broke out in 2021 with Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds film, and The Last Duel, the Ridley Scott film with Matt Damon and Adam Driver. She was one of the people looked at for Sue Storm for Fantastic Four. She didn't get it. I wanted her to. But here, like I said, she's very stubborn, hard-hitting, very demanding, or very emotional at times, very, just like the actress from Goodfellas. She's the narrator, she's our entryway into this biker world run by Tom Hardy. And I thought he did the accent, the Chicago accent, perfectly. I believed her. In fact, in real life, she is so good looking that even in here, you like, wow, they really made her look. She's attractive, but not like she looks in real life. And I thought that was really well done. She also commands this performance that I wasn't even thinking of her in the Free Guy movie or The Last Duel. I thought she was great. Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. I don't care what people say. Tom Hardy is one of those actors. Because once again, people forget in movies, it's show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. And Tom Hardy is great when he doesn't talk much, but he can express everything through just a look, whether it's just his whole facial expression or just his eyes. And here's the same way. You completely buy him as this leader of this biker gang. In fact, early on in the movie, I'm thinking, he's reminding me a lot of Marlon Brando in this role. And funny enough, and this is in the movie, he's the one that comes up with this biker gang, if you will, by watching a Marlon Brando movie. I forget the name of the movie he was watching, but that's how he came up with this biker, gang, if you will, by watching a Marlon Brando movie. And like there's a little bit of Marlon Brando in him in this role. So it was almost funny coincidence. But like his interaction with Austin Butler are great. He's this like mentor, leader, even somewhat a little bit father figure in some ways. I believed him as this like gangster. It seems he can be really threatening at times, as we know from like Warrior or Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. But he still has that way of not losing his cool, but just either giving you that look like, don't fuck with me. And then we got Austin Butler, who is taking over Hollywood already. I think you go back just 2 years ago with Elvis, him playing Elvis Presley, his breakout performance. Before that, yeah, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in a very small role. Yeah, I think he had a stint on Disney Channel at one point. But in the last 2 years, we've really started to see Austin Butler rise in Hollywood. Then we saw him in Dune Part 2 earlier this year. Like I said, he's rumored for Pirates reboot and maybe Hercules for Disney. And here, in this movie, he reminds me, I don't know if it's just the biker look to him, the hot guy, the sexy, doesn't talk much, and also just gives you that look. He reminded me of James Dean, like Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, if this guy plays his cards right, he's going to be the next James Dean of Hollywood. He has great chemistry with Jodie Comer. His chemistry is back and forth with Tom Hardy. He's wild. He's off the chain in this movie. You think it's Tom Hardy's going to be the wild and crazy one? It's Austin Butler. He has a few scenes that you just go, oh yeah, that's the guy you don't want to fuck with. I mean, whoa. So once again, Austin Butler gives a great performance, a lot of range to his performance too. From, like I said, sometimes he's charming, sometimes he's very serious, silent, emotional. It's a great performance. I love the world that Jeff Nichols creates here. This is an original film. And you just feel, it feels lived in. It feels real, like I said, dirty, gritty. A lot of times these guys are just wearing shirts that are ripped or dirty all the way down. The house that they're in just feels lived in, but also you wouldn't want to live in there with all those biker people. The soundtrack, very late 60s, early 70s music, which I'm actually surprised they didn't have any Elvis music in here, because that would have been around the right, perfect time for Elvis. But I wonder if that was a choice because of Austin Butler being in the movie and he played Elvis. They were probably like, no. Under 2 hours, and it felt, it moved for me. Like I was drawn in with the characters. Tom Hardy, Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, plus a great supporting cast. Mike Feist, Norman Reedus, and like I said, Michael Shannon shows up in this movie. The negative I have with this movie is there's this other like wannabe younger guy from the other side of the tracks type of thing, and he wants to join the Vandal biker gang. That's Tom Hardy's Vandals Chicago. That's Tom Hardy's gang. And I wish they fleshed out him a little bit more. But other than that, this is one of my favorite movies of the year. Like the great performances from Jodie Comer, Tom Hardy, Austin Butler. Another win for Jeff Nichols. And like I who gave, to me, one of the best Matthew McConaughey performances in Mud. Back in like 2014. And like I said, here he gets great performances out of Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy reminded me a lot of his role in the movie Warrior. That's still one of my favorite Tom Hardy movies. And like I said, Jodie Comer is really showing she's a one to watch. And like I said, Austin Butler, if he keeps going down the track he's going down, he's going to be one of the best working in Hollywood. Like I said, maybe the next James Dean, if he plays his cards right. So let me know in the comments below. Did you see the Bikeriders? Are you a fan? Do you ride a motorcycle? I've been on a motorcycle once. If I could, I would probably ride a motorcycle all the time. I used to have one of those little mopeds. I put a little seat on it, motorized scooters, and rode around when I was a kid. And then I was able to actually be on a motorcycle once. And I was like, yeah. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It's definitely one of my favorites of the year. And it's an original film, so when people say there's no original movies out there, well, yeah, there is. You just gotta go see them. Let me know, did you see the movie? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Matt in the back.